Today we're going to do a 700 level work rate question, and in this question is a super important concept that comes up all the time on the GMAT, and it's this. If A plus B equals total, then total minus A must equal B. Look out for that concept in this particular question. That's how we're going to solve for Bruno's rate. Make sure you understand it. It comes up all the time. Honestly, you're going to see it all over the GMAT. And just for being here today, I have a free guide for you. 3 GMAT myths that are holding back your score. So I've been teaching the GMAT for about 10 years, and I gotta tell you, the amount of just misinformation out there about this test, it's staggering. So I always wanna be your source of real, true, and accurate information about the GMAT. So I take 3 of the most persistent and frankly most damaging myths about the GMAT. I break them down, show you what's actually real, and as you understand how the test works, I promise this is gonna raise your score and probably raise your score a lot. Okay, on to that work rate question. So the basic framework for any work rate question is rate times time equals work. Now here's the key thing. Regardless of how cleverly they try and word the problem or how hard they try and disguise the information in the problem, all of the information they give you will ultimately fit into this framework, rate times time equals work. As the questions get harder, they just disguise the information more and more cleverly. So what we're going to do in these examples is we're going to show you the classic ways they try and hide and disguise information from you and show you how it fits into the framework, so when you see it on the test, you're going to be ready. Now, there's also 2 other formulas that fall right out of the algebra here. If rate times time equals work, then that means that rate must equal work over time, and time must equal work over rate. 2 other things are really important in work rate problems. The first is, in work rates, we add rates all the time, but we almost never add time. Also, if you're in a work rate problem and you're not real sure what's going on, always get everyone's rate. If you can get everyone's rate, you're in a pretty good position to be able to get the question right. Let's try a harder example. Francesca can paint 3 over x of a house in 24 hours. What fraction of the same house can Bruno paint in 24 hours if the 2 of them can paint the entire house together in 6 hours? Okay, now I really have no idea what any of that means. I take a look at the answer choices. I don't know what those mean either. But do you know what I know for sure? I know that rate times time equals work. I also know that rate equals work over time and time equals work over rate, and we have Francesca, Bruno, and total. That we know for sure. Okay, in every GMAT question, our first step is always go back, figure out what we've been asked to do, and write it down. They can only ask us to find a rate, a time, or a work, and in this case, it looks like we're being asked for Bruno's work. How much of the house did Bruno paint? Okay, now let's write down what we're given and let's fill it in the chart. So we know Francesca can paint 3 over x of a house, whatever that is, but that's how much work she's doing. And apparently it takes her 24 hours to do it. Now we like everyone's rate and we have a work and a time, so we can absolutely calculate Francesca's rate. It must be 3 over x over 24 or 1 over 8x. Okay, great. What else are we given? Well, let's see. We know that together they can paint 1 house in 6 hours, so their rate together must be 1 over 6. That's pretty straightforward. And we also know that Bruno is working for 24 hours. All right. Oh, and that's it. That's what they give us. Okay, so I'm getting a little itchy at this point, and here's why. I have no idea what's going on in this thing, and we don't have everyone's rate. We don't have Bruno's rate. How can we figure out Bruno's rate? Okay, so here is a GMAT trick that comes up all the time. We know for sure that Francesca's rate plus Bruno's rate must equal the total rate. So 1 over 8x plus Bruno must equal 1/6. That means the total 1/6 minus Francesca, 1 over 8x, must equal Bruno. That's just algebra. So that means that Bruno's rate must be 1/6 minus 1 over 8 over x, which comes to 4x minus 3 over 24x. Again, I don't know what that means, but I know for sure it's true because the framework just told us it was. All right, well, we're being asked to calculate a work, and we have a rate and we have a time. Calculating work's pretty easy. We just multiply rate times time, and that'll give us work. So when we do that calculation, the 24's just cancel, and we get 4x minus 3 over x, and that is answer choice E. So notice The framework is always, always, always twice as smart as you and me put together. Even if you have no idea what's going on, and I didn't have any idea what was going on in this thing, always, always trust the framework. It's always going to lead you in the right direction. Okay, great work. Remember to always use the framework. The framework is always twice as smart as you and me put together. Always trust it, especially when you're not quite sure what the heck is going on in the problem. Now, the trick is always getting the information they give you into the question, into the framework, but the information will always fit. Also, and this is crucial because it's throughout the entire GMAT, if A plus B equals total, then total minus A must equal B, and total minus B must equal A. And we saw that in this question. We knew that Francesca's rate plus Bruno's rate must equal the together rate. So the together rate minus Francesca's rate must equal Bruno's rate. Okay, great job. Remember, the framework is always twice as smart as you and me put together, and crucially, if A plus B equals total, then total minus A must equal B. Okay, very nice work. Also, don't forget about your free gift. 3 myths that are holding back your GMAT score. That's yours for free. You can download it right in the description. Okay, we'll see you next time.